After doing a video on Bridgerton Season 3, Episode 5, I asked you guys whether you wanted a similar video on Episode 6, and many of you commented yes. Of course, your wish is my command. Let me remind you what happens at the end of Episode 5, and then I'll tell you all about Episode 6 chronologically with pictures. Let's start, shall we? If you watched my previous video, you'll know that Episode 5 ends with Kay telling everyone that she is Lady Whistledown. Now, she does this to get out of her arranged marriage with an old man, as she thinks no one would marry Lady Whistledown if she exposed her identity. This shocking announcement happens right after Penelope is about to tell Colin about her secret, but she gets interrupted by Cressida. The episode ends with Pen fainting and falling onto the ground. This leads to Episode 6. This episode starts with Penelope. She is pissed at Cressida. Naturally, not only did this girl bully her for years and steal her best friend, but she's also now taking credit for her life's work. Pen is trying to write as Lady Whistledown, but struggles. At that point, Colin visits her to see whether she's okay after fainting at the ball, and also to let her know that whatever she was going to say to him at the ball, she can say it whenever she feels like it. He doesn't pressure her whatsoever. He's really cute in this scene. They also talk about Cressida's announcement. Colin doesn't think Cressida is LW, and Penel agrees. You would expect Pen to tell Colin the truth here, but she doesn't. In fact, she misses a few opportunities to tell him about Lady Whistledown throughout the episode. At the Copper household, Kay's dad is furious. He wants to send his daughter to Scotland to live with their relatives there. Her mom, though, senses that her daughter is not that intelligent to be Lady Whistledown. Before they can talk more about it, the Queen's men arrive at their house and take her to see the Queen. The Queen sees Cressida and her mother and asks, "Why did you turn yourself in?" Cressida says that she didn't want others to get paid by using her name. Remember the bounty the Queen put on Lady Whistledown? Although this answer is quite clever, it's not enough to convince the Queen, who asks for more proof. The Queen says she needs to have the next LW issue before anyone else sees it. Cressida agrees, but she and her mother don't know what to do. At the Bridgerton house, Francesca and John announce their engagement to the family. As Colin returns from the Featherington house, Eloise checks on him to see whether Penelope has told him the truth, but quickly realizes she didn't. Colin asks Eloise whether she knew about Cressida being LW. Eloise says she didn't, and she also says that she ended their friendship when Cressida announced it. After talking to Colin, Eloise checks on Penelope and catches her working on the next Whistledown issue. Eloise calls her out here and asks why Pen is not taking the golden ticket Cressida is presenting her with. Pen can easily stop being Lady Whistledown now. Now, before things go too far, sounds like a good plan, but will Pen be okay with it? Nope. After Eloise leaves, Pora also has a talk with Penelope. Pora basically says that whatever dreams Penelope has, she will have to let them go. Her husband's dreams are now Penelope's dreams. Of course, Pen disagrees with her, as this is not the kind of marriage she wants. The next scene is with Francesca and Violet. Since the Queen had already arranged someone for Francesca, she and John are scared to face the Queen's wrath. So Francesca asks her mother to talk to the Queen on their behalf, but Violet doesn't want to do it, which will cause problems between mother and daughter. Later in the episode, there's then an ensemble scene with everyone at the church. Colin and Penelope's engagement is officially announced to the public, but Francesca and John don't do it yet. Here, Colin and Penelope have an alone moment where Colin asks Penelope what she was going to tell him. Is this the scene where Pen finally tells Colin everything? No, it's not. Pen says she wanted to tell him how she had fallen in love with him the first time she saw him. Besides Penelope's avoidance of the big issue, this is actually a pretty romantic scene. There are a few shots of them dancing alone in the church, and they look so in love and happy. Outside the church, Cressida watches everyone and tries to find a moment alone with Eloise. It turns out she wants to ask Eloise's help to write a Lady Whistledown issue, thinking that Eloise is the right fit for the job. Here, Eloise acts like she thinks Cressida is LW and refuses to help her. I understand her not wanting to help her, but I'm not so sure why she acts like Cressida is LW to cover for Penelope. Tell me your thoughts, guys. There's another scene at the church, this time with Violet and Lady Danry. Lady Danry says that if the Queen notices Violet is not convinced about Francesca and John's engagement, she will not give her blessing. Violet is concerned about Francesca, as she thinks Francesca doesn't really love John. Even Francesca notices this when she sees the difference between the way Violet treats Colin and Penelope versus her and John. I mean, look at Hannah's eyes. What's next? Penelope goes to the Modest and tells Genevieve that she plans to retire. Genevieve is not convinced and is quite skeptical. Meanwhile, Cressida and her mother write a short pamphlet that says the next LW issue is coming out soon. Cressida signs her name under it. What happens next in the episode is absolutely going to shock everyone. There's a big ball at the Mander house. This time everyone, including the Queen, is invited. Instead of going there, however, Benedict goes to a dinner party hosted by Lady Tilly. But when he goes to her house, the dinner party involves just her and another young man. Lady Tilly even starts kissing this man and invites Benedict for a threesome. But Benedict says no, not yet. Now we can discuss forever what this not yet actually means. I think it means Benedict wants to join in on the fun but doesn't feel ready yet. At the Mandarin Ball, Francesca asks Violet to speak to the Queen, but they end up having a huge fight as Violet says she doesn't think Francesca and John are going to work as a couple. Of course, Francesca calls her mother out and asks why Violet can't see that her daughter is in love with John. She wants Violet to support her in her relationship just like she supports her other children. Violet gets angry, but only at herself and her behavior. I think she realizes that she has been acting pretty bad about this whole Francesca and John situation. While she runs off, Marcus, Lady Dam's brother, tries